Next, I'm going to look at rounding off to the nearest 100. So this is a concept that you may have learned way back. So suppose you want to round off these numbers to the nearest 100. This will round off to 500. This will round off to 600. That to 600, 600, 600, 600. But this one will round off to 700. So this is really interesting. So if a number has been rounded, for example, to 600, to the nearest 100, like what we've done on the left, what is the smallest number it could have been? Obviously, if you look at our solutions on the left, it means that the smallest number could be probably, the smallest actually is 550. Because if you round off 554.99999, it rounds off to 500. And if your number has been rounded off to 600, then it has to be, the minimum has to be 550. What's the biggest number it could have been? Again, if you look at our solutions, it's definitely going to be 649.99999. So, suppose you want to represent a range of values that round off to 600 to the nearest 100. We can use inequalities. So, we can use inequalities. We can, let me change this. We can represent this range of values using inequalities. And how do we do that? Well, we can see that the smallest number that can be rounded off to 600 is 550. So I'll write 550 on the left. And I'll use X to represent this range of values that round off to 600. Now, the biggest number is 649.99, but I don't want to write that. So what I'll do is I'll write 650. But now, the fact that I've used this symbol here, it means that do not include this guy, but a number close to 650 will be the biggest number, which happens to be 649.9999. So instead of writing 649.99, I'll just write 650, but use that inequality to show that that number is not inclusive. All right? And then this one here means that this number will be inclusive, so do include this one. So do include 550 in that range of values that round off to 600, but do not include 650. Okay, I'll move on. Round off to the nearest whole number. So let's go ahead and round off these guys. That will round off to 5, to 6, to 6, to 6, to 6, to 6, but that will round off to 7. So if a number has been rounded off to 6 to the nearest whole number, what is the smallest number it could have been? Of course, the smallest number it could have been is 5.5. What is the biggest number? Of course, you can see from the list on the left, that is 6.4999, so on and so forth. And we can represent this again using inequalities. this way, 5.5, and then use dot signs, 6.5. And what these inequalities means is that do not include this guy, so do not include 6.5. So 6.5 is just giving us a boundary, but we're not going to include it. But do include 5.5, because if you round off 5.5 to the nearest whole number, rounds off to 6. So do include 5.5.